if you truly understand, implement, and embody what I'm about to share with you guys in this video, it's going to completely change the way you experience your reality and the way you call in, attract, and basically manifest the desires, ideas, visions that you are desiring on a conscious level. So, I've been wanting and feeling that I want to create this video for quite a while. Actually, there are two videos that I've been wanting or guided to create, and one of them I'm recording today. And as you can see from the title, it's called The Art of Higher Living. I don't know, maybe I'm not gonna title it this way, but this is what I'm titling. This is what we're gonna be talking about, the art of higher living. And the second video that I'm going to be recording next after this, maybe in a couple of weeks, is transcending or navigating human suffering, because I feel both of these topics are very intertwined in order to for you to embody and experience higher living. uh, there is work to be done prior, energy work, such as shadow work, recalibration, rewiring of your different layers of your system in your human hologram. So if you are curious, or if it is of interest of yours to also see a video like this, please do let me know in the comments. It helps me a lot when I hear feedback from people. What do you guys like? What your questions are. Um, but in today's video, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Kristina Day, and here on the channel, Spiritual Selfish, we focus on you so that you can take care of yourself, step into your personal power, full self expression, and serve this world from a place of overflow and walk the path of your soul mission. So, guys, this video is going to be honestly very, very different. When I'm recording YouTube videos, there's always part of me which wants to talk about the things faster, in more concise way, more straight to the point way, also maybe restructuring things a little bit, and in order to make it a hook or whatever, to retain the attention of the people. But you know after years and years and years of working with myself, understanding myself, I understand this is not how I work, and this is not how the information that wants to come to me, through me, and to you guys, to the world, is not how it's rolling. The information that comes to me comes in a very, let's say, I don't want to say advanced way, but it's very meticulous in the way of the details and quantum mechanics that I like to go to, and to break down the fabrics of reality in order for you to understand it in a practical way, and what does it actually mean, and how it's actually going to affect your life, right? So with this video today, I do feel it's going to be a little bit longer, because I gave myself permission not to create any structure, except I, set up in my notebook, put some bullet points that I want to make sure we cover. Um, but in that sense, prepare yourself for a longer video. This literally information that and guidance that I'm going to give you has the potential to completely turn your life or experience of reality 180. And I know that this information, or what I'm about to share, because honestly it's not about information, it's about what I'm sharing and what your subconscious and unconscious minds receive, the energy, the frequency that I'm transmitting to you. So for some people, this information might go completely over their head, and make feel them like it's too much, it doesn't make sense, or whatever. It's totally fine. We are all different beings. We are different humans. We are different expressions of source consciousness, different soul essence. So we embody different archetypes. We are walking different life paths, soul paths. So this video in particular that I am recording will be specifically addressed to advanced star seeds. So more of people who are operating predominantly consciously or unconsciously, doesn't matter if you know it or not, more in the quantum realms. What I mean by that is, there are some people who are great at what they're doing and they are operating in a linear manner, right? Everything is fixed, everything is structured, everything has to make sense, everything belongs to something. For example, science, it's a very linear thing to operational system, right? So some people will be operating great in that matter. For me, myself personally, and I know there's other, many other souls who do not necessarily feel the same way. We operate mostly at linear manner feels very constricted and limiting to us. So I'm recording this video for people who are deeply connected and attuned to the energetics, who are operating as quantum computers, let's say, right? There are regular computers and there's quantum computers. Either of them is not better or worse, but or one is good or bad, whatever, right? So each of them serves their purpose. So I want you to also know that what I'm about to share with you is not for everyone, and it's completely okay. This is more for the people who might feel that there's something different out there for them that is available for them, but might not fully understand what it is, might feel that what they're experiencing or what they're observing in the collective doesn't feel right and aligned for them, because what I am observing in the collective, even when it comes to spiritual practices and manifestations and so on, it's all, most of it is very mind based, is linear operational way of being based. So without further ado, in this video, what we're going to be talking about is, 1 second, let me shut this and make sure we are recording. We are. So the art of higher living, we're going to be talking about what it is, why you want to actually embody it, this way of being, and how to embody it in your life, right? So in a nutshell, before I go to the video, in a nutshell, higher living, the art of higher living. Why would you want to embody it? Is because you're going to be able to experience life of ease, life of joy, alignment, inner peace, coherence, harmony, with a greater ease, grace, and flow. Not everyone wants it, right? But I'm going to share some things with you that will allow you to attune yourself to this way of being, so that life stops or makes it less to feel like a struggle city, like the world is a bad place and everything out there is out there to get you. And if you want to experience any of your desires, that you have to work hard or you have to suffer. And yeah, a lot of densities are in non-higher living. So if this is of interest of you to create an experience of reality that is in alignment with higher living, coherence, harmony, joy, I invite you to continue watching the video. If you are new completely to me, my name is Kristina Day. I am, or I call myself, a new earth leader because I'm here to embody and anchor a new way of being on on all levels, so mental, emotional, in different areas of life. And truly, my soul mission is to help other advanced starseeds, mission souls, to become aware of the new ways of being, so that they can make a choice that is more aligned with their soul essence, with their soul frequency, right? um, and alongside of that, for you to step into your unique self-expression and your unique personal power. Now, let's get into the juice. So what is higher living? Higher living is a term that you might come across from in other people's teachings. For me personally, I started to experience higher living, aka more alignment, coherence, joy, harmony in my life, and truly feeling that God wants me to win, aka source consciousness, aka myself, because everything is part of the unified field. When maybe like 3 4 years ago, right? And at that point, I never heard the term higher living. However, us not knowing something on a mental level does not mean that we cannot access information from the unified field and start experiencing it. Also, by the way, everything that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, it is advanced information. Again, when I say advanced, please don't think that it's better, that in some way, shape, or form something is not advanced. It's just information that is not spoken in mainstream, that most people have not accessed yet, right? But we're going there. And as more people get exposed to this, as more people become consciously aware of this, it will become a norm. Right? So me myself, I got into personal self-development 17 years ago. When I say 17, makes me feel like very old. But yeah, 17 years ago I started to self-teach, like I become self-taught. I started to listen to Bob Proctor, learn about law of attraction, human behavior, and so on and so forth, right? So I did start in traditional personal self-development, let's say so. But as I continued my journey of personal evolution, new pieces, new ways of being started to reveal itself to me, right? So this, what I'm sharing with you, if you are seeing this video and if you're watching it and if you're gonna watch the full video of it, it just means it's time for you to become aware of this way of being, of this information, of this energy, and make an appropriate choice, what feels best for you as a human and for your soul path as well. So how I came about of this way of being is, again, I've been into self-development myself for the longest time, and I have achieved a lot in my life through taking massive action, going for it, getting it, making shit happen. Right, I'm gonna set my mind to anything, and I have it, right? But it was coming from a place of lack and scarcity, pressure, forcing, basically also a lot of linear type of energy, like I'm here, and I want to be here. There's only linear matter, right? There's no way how this could come to me in faster, like I have to go and get it myself, right? Really masculine linear energy, which is not wrong or whatever. It's just, what do you prefer? I'm just looking at my notes. I'm staying on track. Otherwise, it might be 3 hour video instead of I don't know how long we're gonna make it. So a lot of the things for you to embody and what I'm gonna be sharing today is actually building up on two major things that I identify as one, shadow work, and 2, understanding the fabrics of reality, aka working with the frequency, attuning your own frequency on a conscious level, because we're manifesting and we're changing our frequency, we're emanating a specific energetical signature frequency 24/7, consciously or unconsciously, we're doing it. Right, so if you everything that I'm going to be sharing with you today in the higher living video, honestly, I could I could record a course on it, and most of the people, this is why this information is not really popular, because it will be shared in closed containers and paid containers and courses and programs where people already have done the work and they arrived to this point. But for me, I really felt I felt called to record this, and for me, it's not about going viral or whatever. I feel called to create this video, put this information out there, and those of you who attract this video and manifest this video into your life, great. If I can help support a couple of people with this information, amazing. So that being said, please do know that in order to start truly embodying higher way of living and this way of ease, grace, flow, coherence, where you're freaking so supported and synchronicities, happen like this into your life, it does require some work prior. And if you are interested in like going deeper into shadow work and frequency work, I do have PowerPoint courses which I created years ago. There is a free Your Shadow course, which you'll find the link down below. And there's also a 5-day frequency reset, which teaches you how to reset your frequency across multiple layers of your being, and how basically the vibrational reality we're living in works, right? So but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I want to expose to you, or make it get this information in your conscious awareness, that there is another way, that there is a better way of being, of living, of experience reality. Because as I shared it in my last video about where I shared with you that we're building Starseed Village in Guatemala, a next generation type of villages for future generations, which is in alignment with the new paradigm. I shared that, finally these options are becoming available for people to choose another way of being, because so many people are envisioning and receiving these downloads and ideas about a better way of living in harmony with nature while integrating spirituality and technology, but they don't see it in their reality. They see, well, I'm still in the matrix, in the human enslavement matrix, and they just go to work because they don't have a better option, right? But once you are aware of a better option, then you can make a sovereign, educated choice. So for me, with me bringing this information to you, my biggest intention is just for you to become aware that there are other ways of being, not just the ones that we've been conditioned into and will continue to operate, right? So I want to enable you to make for you to make a choice that is in a higher alignment with who you be as a soul. Let me collect myself. So yeah, that being said, this information, I don't expect you to understand it all straight away. I will try to make it as practical as I can. And you might want to excuse me, you might want to rewatch some of the pieces, that's how I sometimes watch. I rarely consume content, but sometimes I watch a video, like a course or something, where it's like about for example, neo shamanic energy surgery, and I literally watch a 20-minute video for maybe 1-2 hours because I stop it and I process the energy that I've just received and I integrate it into my consciousness and my field and make it logical for in accordance with my belief systems. It's not, because it's not just about the information that is being shared, it's about the energetics. So with this video, again, guys, some pieces might land, some pieces might be like, what? And it may land with you in 2 years or whatever. Okay, let's get into it. So what is higher living? Higher living, again, is not better or worse. It's just a different frequency bandwidth. In a practical way, higher living just means this is an experience of reality where you are operating from a place of overflow, abundance, unconditional love. Things that you do, or how you are experiencing reality, basically is one of coherence, harmony, alignment, right? It is when you deeply, deeply know and embody, it's an embodiment of knowingness that God wants me to win, that everything is provided in overflow. And it's not just about God wants me to win. It's God or source or universe, quantum field, whatever you call this higher intelligence of unified field that we all are part of. God, actually humans, are expression and manifestation of this source consciousness. Right? And I arrived to this realization, I arrived to this level of consciousness myself after, I have gone through forcing things in personal development and making shit happen. After I've done a tremendous deep shadow work, rewiring myself on so many levels in my mental level, emotional, physical bodies, as well as my past lifetimes and ancestrals and so on. Once we cannot truly embody a higher, a lighter way of being if our vessel is full of density and what's the word I'm looking for? Not frustration, not density. I don't remember. But anyway, I did a small drawing for you guys also to kind of show what it might look like, because again, as I shared, I'm operating myself not in a linear manner. Like if I see something in a physicality, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm not going to be dealing with it in a physicality. I'm going to go energetically what's happening on a frequency level with the situation, why I'm seeing this, why I attracted it, and then I'm going to deal with the root of it, right? So here is a small drawing. I hope you can see it. I'm sorry for the freaking glare. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we're talking about higher living. So there are different realms. I'm going to sit here because now the sun is turning into my window. So there are different realms of existence. Everything is still expression of source consciousness. Source, the infinite, is expressing itself, it's exploring itself. And there are different frequencies, different frequency bandwidths, and different realms, right? And source is expressing itself as human, source expressing itself as plants and animal kingdom, elemental kingdom, and so on and so forth, right? So and then also there are energetical frequency bandwidths where, for example, there is a version of me who exists in the higher realm, who exists in lower realm, and who exists in middle realm. And I just kind of made a split lower, middle, higher just to make it clear, but obviously they're more meshed together. But in a sense, there's different versions of the same person, let's say, to make it simple. So I made this simple drawing. So for example, we have three realms of existence. This one, for example, is a lower realm bandwidth. A lower realm bandwidth means that it doesn't mean that it's bad. All it means is that it is slower pace frequency, it's a heavier frequency, it's more dense, period. That's all it is. We're not here to judge whatever is happening in this frequency bandwidth, whether it's bad or whether it's good. So I kind of made it in black color, and the frequency is like slow and heavy, right? Yeah, I just did my best how I felt it feels to me. Now the second round, the middle round, then we'll open up. I'm gonna open up all three of them. But then the second round, right, is here. The middle round is a little bit lighter. It's a little bit faster paced, right? It does feel lighter. And then there's higher living, right? The frequency is faster and it's lighter. And also the color of it is different. That being said, a practical example, look at the rainbow, right? So rainbow also has different colors. Again, at the core of the fabrics of this reality, everything is built on sound. Sound basically vibrates at certain frequency, then it creates light, then light creates colors, colors create shape, form, and then that turns into sacred geometry, and geometry takes form, and at some point it starts to manifest into elements, into humans and other beings, right? So on an energetical level, there are this core differentiates of lower, middle, and higher. What is in the higher is not an energetical match in the lower. What exists in the higher realm cannot exist in the lower realm. Same thing, what exists in the lower realm cannot exist in the higher or the middle. Of course, on the edges, again, as I said, I just kind of map them out as three separate to make it easier for the minds to adjust. But yeah, they're kind of in and out, and then always remember, it's not that you are in 100% of the time, but as you continue to do the work, your frequency raises and raises and raises, and you become more in alignment with a certain way or certain realm. Same as let's look on the rainbow, right? It's red, yellow, red, orange, yellow, right? And the top one is violet, right? What are the chances that colors of the rainbow are the same sequence that our chakras are? Right? So something that is that the rainbow will never be, the first one will never be violet. Why? Because that frequency vibrates at a different, that energy, that atoms vibrate at a different frequency, right? So different realms of existence is not something, I'm sure quantum mechanics and physics, you might have heard about it before. Now, what I do want to share is that how does it show up in our physical, practical reality? So for example, again, I know there's nothing on it except lines, but I like to point it that way. So for example, lower realms of existence, this is where suffering exists, where this is where everything is dense, everything is heavy, everything is a struggle and so on. So this is where some of the lower realm beings will exist. This is where some of negative entities that we may call will be existing, and this is where they will be doing the things they're doing, right? So that we perceive as negative and bad and maybe sometimes horrendous, that what is happening there. I'm sure all of you guys understand what I'm referring to, right? So this is deep, let's say, enslavement of humanity, sourcing human consciousness, sourcing human blood, bodies, flesh, and so on. So it's a lower realm. Middle realm. So we also can, in a sense, say it's 3D, 4D, 5D, but I wouldn't be really doing it this way. But in a sense, once you are moving your frequency in a little bit higher, right? So here you might be the victim of circumstances and you have no idea what's happening. You are just at the mercy of what's happening to you. Middle rounds is where you might be starting to become aware of what is happening. So instead of being just a player or being a victim, you become the observer. So you are already noticing and seeing what the slower round beings are doing, what are their intentions. So you might not necessarily be a victim, but you are still giving the slower round power. It still has influence into you. So for example, conspiracy theories and a lot of people who will be going and fighting this round to stop it are residing here. At the same time, you already understand that you are a conscious creator and you have a choice not to participate in here, right? The difference, so I feel like a lot of humanity now, with awakening after 2020, a lot of people moved from here being completely taken over by the density of the matrix that has been set up to enslave humanity, have moved here, right? The level of consciousness, the level of awareness have moved here. The level of energetics of many people have moved here. However, a lot of people are still trying to fight the old. Why? Because deeply in their human hologram and their energetical bodies, the grids they are operating from are still anchored in suffering, fear. Something is out there to get me, right? Higher realm is when we transmute those fears, beliefs, trapped emotions, trapped child consciousness, integrate our ego. When we start to become aware of our soul and we create space in our physical and energetical vessel for more light, for more of our higher dimensional consciousness to come in and land into our physicality on a cellular quantum level. When we start to embody more light, and again, this is not reserved for some people, and it's not accessible for the others. It's a matter of energetical attunement. When you start to embody more of the light, you start to become energetical match more to a higher living. Meaning, as I said, what is higher living? A living, a way of being, of harmony, alignment, overflow, right? Let me guys just pause this for a second and fix the light. So I changed where I sat, and hopefully that makes it a little bit better, because yes, in the afternoon the sunlight really hits my room, so it's a little bit challenging to film when there's such a glare. Anyway, so back to when we are creating more space in our vessel, in our mental body, emotional body, basically in our human hologram, more of our higher dimensional light and information is able to come into our vessel, into this density, because this is the real work, is not to go after the light, but bring everything that you are in the higher realms, bring it into this density. And to anchor this new way of being onto the grids of the earth, and help this way to for 5D Gaia to manifest, and for the human consciousness to raise as well. So when we are starting to move into higher realms, we start to experience life of ease, grace, alignment, coherence, flow, and everything just synchronistically starts to work out. And it's basically, you start to experience it, you start to attract those type of experiences as well, and also your perception of it changes, right? So you are perceiving the world in a completely different way in comparison to you when you were in the lower rounds, or in comparison to you to with people who are still believing that the world is a tough place and they have to fight everything in order to receive something or get something in their life, right? So why I'm sharing this with all of this with you guys is we're now moving to the part of why to embody higher way of living. And again, for me, it doesn't make a difference for me if you choose to embody this way of being or not, um, because we have to remember each and every one of us is expression of the unified field. Each and every one of us is on our unique path, and we will experience lessons and teachings and realizations in accordance and in alignment as what we are holding in our bioenergetical field. And in our bioenergetical field, we also hold um, information of our soul contract for specifically for this incarnation. The lessons that we must to go through. We also are holding information about our soul essence. We hold information about the archetypes that we are to go through and to embody and to transcend in this specific incarnation. So that being said, all I want to do is to tell you, hey, there are different ways of being. And if you currently are experiencing this way of being and it doesn't feel good to you, but maybe you're just not aware that there are other choices and you continue to eat from this plate and feeling sorry for yourself, hey, there is other ways of being. You just need to stop believing and drop the motherfucking joystick of the PlayStation and ask yourself, why am I even playing this game? There are other better choices that in a higher alignment with that feels more aligned with who I am as a soul. Now, there are some people, some beings of expression of the source who chose to experience in this incarnation for them lower realms. And we're not, and who are we to judge and tell them that they're wrong or to fight them and so on? Um, and to impose our ways of being onto them, like, no, you have to go into higher realm because it feels better. No, every being makes their own freaking choice based on what feels in alignment for them. So for some, the dance realm feels good. For some, to create these crimes and be in service to self is in alignment with their contract of incarnation. Because you want it or not, all of us have had, and well, it's parallel lifetimes, we all have dark lifetimes where we did not choose the path of unconditional love and unity, and we chose to incarnate and experience lifetimes of being service to self, lack of compassion and sourcing other beings for service to self, in order for us to experience those lifetimes and make better choices. And then, to have incarnations where we are in service to light and love and abundance. So that being said, there are some, not some, but for someone, the higher living is in alignment. For some, it's the lower rounds. For some, it's here, right? There are out there a lot of spiritual warriors who will go out there and fight and speak their truth and speak their voice and put their foot into the ground and say, no, this is not okay. And this is fantastic. We need people like this who embody those archetypes for humanity to awaken who are maybe still stuck here, right? But then we also need people who are in higher realms who already know that it's not about fighting or proving anything to anyone. Everything is part of the unified field, everything has its place to be. And if you choose to do so, there are other realms, other timelines and frequencies that are available to you. And it's not a matter of fighting or being linear. It's a matter of inner work and energetical recalibration for you to become a match, for you to embody and emanate that frequency in order to attract it and in order for you to perceive life certain way. Period. So why to embody higher living? Only if it feels good for you, if you are tired of the struggle city, if you're tired, you're feeling you're going over and over in the patterns, same patterns, if life is there out there to get you, or constantly, experiencing blocks or challenges after challenge, uh, the universe might be just telling you, hey, dude, like, when are you gonna learn the lesson to drop the PlayStation joystick and uh, uh, stop playing this game. Like, you literally can't stop experiencing lower rounds if you're gonna say enough. Enough is enough. Why I'm still playing this game, right? And this is where I'm gonna be recording the next video for you guys, is transcending and navigating human suffering, is because sometimes we're just freaking addicted to suffering. Sometimes we don't know any other way of being. And how do we navigate that? How do we do shadow work? How do we do energy work in order to remove that and release those bonds and cords uh, to those, denser realms, so that we can start moving um, up the frequency bandwidth to start experiencing that which we actually consciously want to experience. So that's coming. If you want to see that, please let me know, because again, me myself, yes, I started to experience this higher way of being, where I'm extremely supported, where I'm extremely, when I truly desire something now, it's not a question, oh, will it happen or not? It's a question of, are there any contradictions in my consciousness that tell me I cannot have it, it's not safe for me to have it? The moment I release it, and the moment I'm like, that's it, period, done, I don't have to tell myself, like, for years already, since I started to embody this, it's not a question of, oh, will this happen? No, it's done. It has no choice. It's quantum mechanics. It's how the law of attraction works, right? So my work is to embody the frequency. And I kid you not, the moment I decide now something, the quickest manifestation that I had, again, you can call it manifestation, I call it synchronicity, opportunity just coming through, was 2 days. 2 days, I decide something, I feel like I'm in complete mess. I have no idea how this incredible desire that I have, bam, 2 days later, somebody reaches out, invites me to come to whatever other country, to come to an event. Miraculous. But now typically it's about like a week or two that things like this show up. So, you know, times and times again, over and over again, universe have humbled me so many times, put on me on my knees, um, and showed me, well, at this point, I know that I know nothing. On a grand scheme, I decide nothing. So I just get out of freaking way, and I allow the universe to work through me, right? Because I know I associate myself with God, aka God manifested itself as Kristina, and there are certain things that it desires to do. So I allow this, higher intelligence to work through me, while I still have my human free will to get distracted and do things my way. But then, it brings me back to the path and shows me that I'm always supported, always provided. And there's nothing that ever happens to me, or something that is trying to hurt me, unless I allow it. Um, and there's absolutely nothing for me to go and get. Everything's provided. I just need to make myself available and allow myself to receive. So higher living, and also, by the way, if you're curious to listen more about higher living, 2 years ago, something around 2 years ago, there's a YouTube video that I did together with Kira Young, um, on the heart consciousness and becoming the new earth leader. So Kira and I hosted a heart consciousness retreat here in Latvia. She flew from Ireland. Also, the way how we met was just pure synchronicity. And so she came to Latvia, yeah, like 2 years ago, year and a half ago, where we were initiating some of the people into Belaspaten healing modality, which Belaspata is another name for higher living, right? It's a specific modality that there's a specific seer who channeled it, and she created the Belaspata system. So if you want to listen more about higher living, and from a little bit different angle, not just mine, I highly recommend watching this video. I'm gonna link it here. But basically, it is about, how we start to attune ourselves to the way of being and realization and way in consciousness level that the mother, is always providing for us, and we are always supported, and it's always about the overflow, and it's not about fighting or proving, if you are constantly experiencing reality where there's something bad happening to you. Well, it might be that yes, you are a spiritual warrior and you need to experience life of, you need to know how to freaking step into your personal power, some of the lessons that you need to learn there, um and protection and providing for others and so on. But at some point I also had spiritual warrior consciousness, but then I just decided, like, what, I learned the lessons, and it's time for me to up level and expand my awareness and start to co-create and give up my ego, and allow the universe to work through me in order for me to start to experience life of ease and alignment and higher impact. Because now it's not about me, my little human, doing something. It's like freaking divine will that is working through me, and I have nothing to do but to just be available and take inspired action and to respond. So let me see. Otherwise, I feel I'm talking a lot, and I want to give you some practical steps with this. So, you guys, there is another way of being. Not everything in our world is black and white. Um, Everything exists. There are lower realms where things are tough. There are middle realms where it's okay, and there are realms where you are, everything is divinely orchestrated, everything is part of the unified field, and you have a choice whether or not to embody that, to receive that. It boils down to, what do you want? Do you want to continue to fight, to protect yourself, or are you done? And you're ready to receive in abundance and overflow and be of service, be a humble servant for the Gaia, for the unified field, and allow it to guide you and to work through it, right? And also, what I wanted to share here is that here again, in the masterpiece of different realms, here things are, wait, here are things happening to you. Here you are observant and you're fighting them. Here you are creating things. You are a vessel, right? So there is the saying, beautiful saying, I don't remember what it was, but basically, we do not fight the old world. We fight the old. We do not stop the old world by fighting it. We stop the old world by creating a new one and making the old obsolete. Once people have more choices, once they see that there is available reality of overflow, prosperity, unconditional love, and it's a norm that most people embody, people will have no reason to choose lower realm existence, right? Unless it's lower realm beings who are in alignment with that. So that being said, what I share with you, take what resonates, leave out what doesn't. Take what resonates on your specific journey where you're at. I'm not here to prove you or tell you this is the right way and you should be doing it. No, you choose for yourself, but please know that the world is not a bad place. You yourself need to take responsibility. What realities do you allow? What frequencies and timelines do you tolerate, and why? And if you observe in yourself that you are experiencing lower realms, middle realms, and you do not want it, then take responsibility and start asking your questions and work with your consciousness. Why I believe, why I still embody the energetics that make me a match to these realms when I don't want, right? Because in truth and reality, 5D Gaia 6, 7D, 8, up to 12 dimensional time and space matrix in which we're living in always existed. The reason why it hasn't been accessible to you is because this current incarnation holds certain frequencies that emanate and project and experience Earth in 3D. Now you do the work and you move up the realms, you move up the dimensions, but it always existed. It's always part of the unified field. Period. So we have to realize the reality we experience, we are the only ones. You individually, you are the only one who's experiencing it in that unique way. Ask yourself, do you enjoy it? And if not, you have ability to recalibrate yourself. Period. Very simple. I know it's not easy to do, but it is simple. It's not a rocket science. It's just most of us have not been drawn to have not been exposed to this information. But in reality, it's plain simple in front of our noses. As I said, the freaking rainbow demonstrates that, right? So yeah, how to embody it. Last piece. Okay, Kristina, I get it. So what do I need to do and to start to experience life of higher living? Give me a second. I just need to grab a bottle of water. And another thing that I want to share with you is that also a lot of the things where you decided to incarnate the family, the culture, the blood, what you have received as a frequency in your DNA through your bloodline. The grids of the country in which where you incarnated has a lot to do with shaping your frequency. So, for example, when I was in Thailand, I met someone, right? And I'm from Latvia, and he was from Poland. I mean, he's still Polish, but yeah. So we went to have a lunch, and he started to ask me about my beliefs, because he noticed that I'm very like energetical and I speak about all of this soul mission, yada yada. And he was at the beginning of like just getting introduced to all of this like traveling and spirituality. He is a highly emotional, intelligent, and spiritual man, but he was kind of more just opening up and being curious about other people's perceptions of reality. So he asked me a lot of questions, and I shared with him, what I know, um, or what I embody, how I perceive reality. And something that he said to me really made me feel like, wow, like at this point, I don't even notice it, became my autopilot to to believe that I'm infinitely supported and there's no way that uh, something bad can happen, because it's impossible. Something unpleasant might be happening that I don't want, but it's always guiding me to embody more light, step into my personal power, yada yada, everything. I'm always winning, So that's my mentality now. And what he said to me was like, well, I'm paraphrasing, but he said to me that how did you do it? Like, I'm fascinated that you are thinking this way, because where we are coming from, this is not the conditioning, this is not the way of being we've been taught, right? And Poland is very close to Latvia, just there's only Lithuania between us. So a lot of pain that has been in those grids of planet Earth anchored in, especially after the Second World War, a lot of blood that has been shed there, a lot of powerless victim consciousness is present in those countries. So a lot of those countries we embody or being conditioned in a certain way. We embody as a children a lot of things that are similar, right? So he could not understand, or oh shit, sorry, he just pulled my dress, who could not really, connect it, why I have such a different worldview. And I shared with him, it's all the inner work and the recalibration that I did, which brings me to the point. Well, how do you do it? So I kind of already started to touch on this, guys, and by all means, please take the time after the video and start evaluating yourself. Where do you create unnecessary suffering or tolerate density in your life if you do not want it? If you know that there are other ways that are in higher alignment with your soul expression that are more aligned to you, right? That you are enjoying more. And then start asking yourself questions. Why? Why do I believe this? Why do I tolerate it? What in me is addicted to these experiences, right? Because sometimes it's our ego addicted to, oh, I need to prove that I'm right, or I need to prove that I'm capable of defending myself, or whatever. There's so much fractured consciousness that we need to heal in order to release the stuck emotion, and for our fragment of our soul to return, right? And fragment of the soul, when it returns, it brings me in more light, because that fragment which left uh, of your soul is whole and complete. In a sense, it's in alignment with higher living, or wholeness and unconditional love. So when a traumatic experience happens and fractures our energetical field, part of our consciousness leaves, part of our soul leaves. So it is through the path of deep shadow work, and it is a path of energetical realignment. So one, we need to become aware what are those programs, imprints, patterns that are allowing and are energetical match to these ways of being, why we attract certain people in our life, why we attract certain situations. What am I tolerating? Ask yourself, because it's your responsibility and no one's else. Yes, you might have received it from a not children, your parents, from your culture, but you as a soul, you chose it. You chose it, so it's not to point finger into anyone. All of us received some conditioning because we chose it to learn how to transmute it. So stop pointing finger at anyone and take responsibility. I'm like, man, this is so amazing. If I incarnated in such a family and manifested so much mess, like how powerful my soul actually is to sign up for something like this, to learn how to transmute it, and to then basically hand over it to other people to help them to transmute it as well. It's all about your perception always, how you see something. So yes, one, identify what is making you an energetical match to it, and then do the work to heal it, to release it. Yes. All right. So sometimes, yeah, light language or sound attune that comes through me. So when we release something, we create space, right? We create space on mental, emotional, physical levels, to then we open it up for a new information, a more empowering, more a way of being that contains more lighter frequency can come in, can return. That's it. All it is, guys. So it's not about manifestation. It's not about I'm gonna be holding and affirming and looking in the mirror. I'm like, I'm good enough. I'm good enough. No, you freaking deal with the core frequency that is has fractured and is still residing in your bioenergetical field, which makes you believe and basically running a program and projecting a hologram into your reality that reinforces or creates experience that there's something wrong with you. Anything, it's money, relationship, or why am I attracting the same partners, or why did I attract that partner? Well, because you freaking tolerated it, because you didn't think that you're good enough, or you thought that you have to experience abuse. People who uh, had good childhood and, for example, had good loving parents and have been demonstrated a loving relationship, it never will cross their mind, and it will be not interesting to them to step into a relationship with someone where they were going to be where they're going to be disrespected, not valued, and neglected, like, right? So releasing, opening out the space, well, identifying, releasing, opening up the space, embodying, and yes, that's how you start to embody, that's how you start to manifest and experience um a reality of your desires. And I also had to do, it's not, yeah, I didn't say in the beginning, but I've gone through a lot of personal development. And I started to work with the energetics only in 2019, when I started to live in Bali. I was exposed to all the energetics, and when I realized, wow, like this whole development is not just about the forcing and things, but yeah. And as I did the shadow work, I started to experience a life of greater ease, and that I'm more supported. And like, why am I even entertaining ways of being where I have to put my ass on fire and suffer so much? So I had to do also the work and rewiring my nervous system and belief system, which told me, or made me think and operate from what I experienced as a child, that the world is not a safe place, and it's too much to ask for, or it's not appropriate if you are receiving something without making a sacrifice, without making it hard, without proving your worth. I'm like, that, like, who said that? Yes, that was part of my belief system in the past. But if everything is a part of the unified field, I'm not a bad person if I say, well, I desire this and I would love to experience this. Universe, I allow. Boom, and I start to have it because I first and foremost gave myself permission to have it with ease, and I gave up my addiction to suffering and to sacrifice, because I know everything is part of your unified field. Nothing is good or wrong. I'm not good or wrong for choosing or having preferences of wanting to experience ease in life. And you know what? I'm also of a higher service to others when I experience a life of ease, grace, and flow. I'm able to give more. I'm able to have more love and compassion in my heart towards others. I also embody new ways of being, and I am able to be a role model for people. That there are better choices. That we don't have to do it same way as our parents had to suffer and generations before, right? So it's all about your perception. But please give yourself permission to experience and attune yourself to the way of reality you actually desire, and not what has been passed onto you. Again, as I demonstrated, you do have a choice, and there's way more than just three. But this is more for, yes, bringing this to your awareness. All right, guys, I'm gonna be wrapping this up. I have no idea how long it was, maybe 1 hour, something like that. So I really hope that this was helpful. If this was, please share it with somebody who's also an advanced starseed, who you feel also is operating beyond personal surface level personal development, and is deeply attuned with energetics, and is here to anchor a new way of being. Again, we just need to raise awareness of that there are other ways of being, and we can experience a life of grace and ease, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. You're you either are an energetical match to it, or you are not, or you're not, right? So please leave your comments down below. Would really love to hear how all of this landed. If you again are curious about the shadow work course or the 5-day frequency intensive course, you'll find that down below. I do still offer some one-on-one sessions, which is energetical session, more kind of consulting or focusing on your inner alignment, which is called realign with yourself, as well as I do 5D business marketing consulting strategy sessions, as well as over the years I have supported a lot of entrepreneurs with the back end and structures of their businesses, but we do that considering energetics. So all of that is down below. Let me see. Yes, and if you are curious about the next video, which is going to be how do we transcend and navigate human suffering, to create more space um, and give up the addiction to suffering, to create more space in our energetical vessel. That's what I wanted to say. So if you're curious about that, also let me know in the comments. Please like if this was helpful. And I'm wishing you all the best to experience life of greater ease, flow, for your desires, for your ideas that your soul drops to you, for it to start to manifest with greater ease, alignment, and flow and come to fruition. Sending you all of my unconditional love. Mwah.